So first we'll discuss about filters before going to this advanced filters. So what is actually a filter? Filter means you're trying to slice some data. Say you're just trying to filter some data and you're you know doing some analysis, or say you can do some reportings on that. But the filters will happen based on the criteria what I'm trying to filter. It can be each column, individual column, or it can be multiple columns. For that, what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll just select the table and say data, and we'll say filter, and we'll just go here and filter depending on the requirement. This is a normal filter. We just go and we'll just filter it off and we'll get the result. But there is something called as advanced filters. So this is also a filter. But what is this advanced filter? This is nothing like advanced means it's very complex or anything. It's very simple, but more options, that's all. There is nothing like advanced. It is just called as advanced, but that doesn't mean that it is too very advanced and it's very complex. It is very simple actually. But for that you have to know few things, you have to understand few things. If you understand few concepts, few steps, these advanced filters will become really very easy. Right, so first what we'll do is we'll see how we can get the unique values. Say for example, I have some categories. I want to know how many categories are there, or say I want to know the region, how many unique regions are there, or unique subcategories. So if you want to know something like this, then what I can do is I can use the remove duplicates or the advanced filters. Since we are learning this advanced filters, I'll teach you how you can use this advanced filters for getting unique values. So one way what I can do, let me just copy this, just paste it here. I'm just pasting it here. Now I can go to this remove duplicates and then I can get the result here like this. But the same thing can be done in my advanced filters as well. So let's go and understand how these advanced filters can be used. Before selecting anything, I'll just click on this advanced filters to talk about the options what we have in this advanced filters. First thing is the action. It is very simple. We have two options here. One is filter the list in the same place. Other one is copy to another location. So if you see this, it says filter the list in the same place. This is nothing but it is similar to what we actually do these filters. So I'll go here, say data, filter, and I'll try to filter the data. That is filtering in the same place. But there is one more option, that is copy to another location. Here, the option whatever is there here, whatever data I filtered, I can copy it and paste it in another location. When I say copy it to another location, you cannot copy the data to a different sheet, that is another sheet. It should be within the sheet. But I'll tell you how you can actually do this as well. But officially you don't have any option to copy this data, the filtered data, to another location. But for that there are few tricks which I'll be telling in the end of this session. Fine, that means I'm just trying to copy this to another location. This is another option. Next option is the list range. When I say list range, that means whatever data I am actually trying to filter, that is the table. This is the list range. Say I have to select this list range. It will automatically select when I'm somewhere here. You just say I'll go to this advanced, automatically the range will be selected, provided there should not be any blanks. If I have blanks, let's assume that I have a blank here. I'm just trying to remove the data here. Now if I go here and say advanced, which was already selected, but make sure that this blanks will not be there because I've already clicked on this, it is coming. Otherwise what it will do is it will just select only this much. So keep in mind that do not have blanks. Next one. Next is the criteria. The criteria is what all things I'm trying to filter. So what data I'm actually trying to filter here. You might be thinking already we have an option of filter, then why actually we have to do all these things? I'll show you. It will be very interesting and very useful also. Next is copy to. Copy to option is actually used for copying the data into another location. And another option what we have is unique records only. So this is what we did now, remove duplicates. So this unique records only will help me in removing the duplicates and give only unique records. Fine. So we understood the options here. Here we have very less options, but the usage is huge actually. There's so many uses. So for that, what I've done is I've made a different sheets here with all the examples so that you guys can work on this, or say understand complete in depth of this say advanced filtering techniques. Right. First one is a very simple one. What we'll do, let me just copy this category and I'll put it here. Just we'll put it somewhere here. I'm just pasting it. Right. Now we saw how to remove the duplicates by using this option, remove duplicates. But otherwise we can do this in advanced filter as well. Let me click on this advanced filters and it asks for the range. Let me select this as my range. Right. Now what we'll do, go here. It asks for criteria range. You don't have to give any criteria. I'll say copy to another location or filter in the same list. Here I'm not checking any criteria. I'm not specifying any condition here. Just I want to remove the duplicates. Now if I say filter the list in the same place, and if I say unique records only, it will be filtered in the same location. Say okay, see, it is filtered. You see here, it is filtered. So here all the other rows are hidden. Let me remove the filters. I just cleared it. If I go here, see, I have all the records. It is just filtering only the unique values. Let me select this advanced. This time I'll say copy to another location. Let me click on this. Now this copy to another location will get enabled, and I'll select this unique records only. Copy to another location. Let me just click somewhere here, any other location within that sheet, and say okay. See, I'll get the unique values. You can do it for any column. Go here, just paste it here, say advanced, copy to another location, unique records only, and then click anywhere, say okay. So sorry, got selected this one. Let me select this range. Say copy to another location, unique records. Let me select here, say okay. See, I'm getting unique records for this column. This is the unique records what we have. Right. Let's see if I have multiple columns, how will the unique records come? Now let me go here. I'll just paste these two columns. Okay. Now I have this category and subcategory. Now let's try this with remove duplicates. Let me click on this remove duplicates. I've selected category and subcategory. I'll say okay. You can say this. I have duplicate records in the category. Let's sort this and see. Go here, say category. You can say this, I'm getting this duplicate, but the combination of category and subcategory, you can see here, they are actually unique. So when I'm actually using multiple columns, that means the combination should be unique. If you go and check this, see, all these combinations are actually unique, like this. So same thing, I can do it with advanced format, say filtering as well. I'll just copy this and let's paste it here. I'm just pasting on the same cell. Now let's use this advanced filters and then get the unique values. Advanced, copy to another location, and I'll say unique records only. Copy to another location. Let's click somewhere here and say okay. See, I'm getting the same result like what I got with this remove duplicates. I'm not telling you have to use this advanced filters only. You can use this remove duplicate also. This is just to start with. These are the options available. Right. This is for getting unique values either from one column or multiple columns. You can have multiple columns and you can do the same thing. But keep in mind the unique values will be based on the combination of the columns what I've taken. Right. Now let's start with filtering with the numbers. Now if I go here, select this, I'll say filter. Here while filtering, I'll click on this and say number filters. Say between, I want the values between 1000 and 2000. So this is what we give. I'll get all the values which are between 1000 and 2000. The same thing if you want to do by using advanced filters, what we have to do is now you have to specify the criteria. Now we'll do one simple thing and then we'll see slowly we'll increase the complexity. Now I want to filter the sales which is greater than, let's say, we'll see the highest value whatever is there. So based on that we'll try to filter and go here. So I have up to 2500. Let's say I want to filter all the values which are more than 2000. Now if you want to use these advanced filters, what we have to do is, in the first example we didn't specify any criteria. Now we'll try to specify the criteria. The criteria range what we have here, this one, the criteria range. So to create this criteria range, what we have to do is we have to copy these columns. Exactly whatever is there, I have to copy these columns and paste it anywhere in this sheet. Let me paste it here. Okay, see, I've just took this column headings and I've put it here. It should be exactly the same column heading whatever is there. Now I want the sales value which is greater than 2000. We'll put a criteria greater than 2000. Just observe, I mentioned it as greater than 2000. Now what we'll do is we'll go here, select the range, advanced filters. Here it asks for filter the list in the same place or copy to another location. Let me show you both the option. Filter the list in same place. Now it asks for criteria range. This list range is automatically selected. If you think that you want to select it again, go here, select the range once again like this. It's a good practice to select the list range again. Means once I go to this window, criteria range, let me select this. I'll go on top. I will select this row and the criteria row. This is called as criteria range. Now I'll say OK. When I say OK, you can see all the values which are above 2000 will be filtered in this place. This is advanced filters. I'll tell you what are the advantage of this. Now let me remove the filter. I want to copy this to another location, that is all the values which are greater than 2000. Let me go here, advanced, and let me select the entire range. Then let me select the criteria range and then I'll say copy to another location. Let me just select it somewhere here and say OK. Now if you go and check this, all the values which are above 2000 will be available here. Means it is filtered. If you want, you can just go here, filter the value and you can check, see, about 2000 up to 2500 is filtered. The operator here, what you see, you can use all these options. Say equals, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than, equal to, or not equals to. So you can use any of these operators. Now What I have given here is only single condition. Now what if I want to give one more condition here? I can give multiple conditions. We'll go one by one. First we'll see about the numbers. Now let's say I will filter the data here. I have filtered, let's say here I can see the profit. Say I want all the profit which are above 900. So what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll say greater than 900. I can specify one more column here. Now the criteria changed. The sales is about 2000 and the profit is above 900. Let me go here, I'll say advanced, and then let me select the criteria range, and then I'll say this criteria range. First we'll select the range, the list range, criteria range, copy to another location. Now we'll select next to this, say okay. Let's go and check. Let's filter the data and see here above 900 and this is above 2000, and you can check the number of records also. See here it says 79, so here it is around 650 records. You can give any conditions here. Now suppose I want say sales which is greater than 2000 and less than 2100. In that case, see I have only one column here, so what I have to do, let's go here, I'll put one more column here and I'll mention it as less than 2100, like this. You have to take the same column name and put it here. Let's try this. Say advanced, try to select the range because there are so many ranges what we have created. Select this, copy to another location. Now the criteria range will change. I have to select this as well. Then I'll say copy to another location. Let's go and select, say okay. Let's go and check. Let's go and check the data now. See from 2000 to 2100 on. So like this you can keep adding the columns and you can filter the data. Right, this is for numbers. We'll have more examples like this in the next say examples. Now let's go and see how we can filter date. Say here I want to filter the date. Now what I did in the beginning, I took all the columns. This is just to show you how you can create the criteria range. It need not be always you have to take all the columns. Suppose if you think that I'm filtering only one column, you can take only that particular column which you're trying to filter, so that it will not be confusing. Now here what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to take only one column and try to filter this order date. Suppose if you think that I want to use multiple columns, you can keep adding the columns here, but the criteria range will be selected only with those columns which you are trying to filter. Fine. Now let's go here. I want to filter this order date wherein the date should be greater than or equal to 1st December 2019. Say 1/12/2019. Here in this date, let's go and check the data as well once. We have this 2019. Okay, only 2019 data here. Okay, 2019, but we have till December. So what I'll do, I'm trying to check the data which is greater than 1st December 2019. All right, now we'll go to this data and say advanced. Let's select this list range, select, and then I'll select this criteria range. So criteria range, now you should not select like this. should just select only the column which I'm trying to filter. Then I'll say copy to another location, select this. You go and select any of these column here. Let me select this column itself. I'll say okay. Let's go and check. Now it should be greater than 1st December. Try to filter and see. See, only December data is available. So here also you can give multiple columns as well. Say if you go here, whatever operators are there here, the same operators I can use here as well. Let's say I want to have order date that is less than 10, like this. Now I'm trying to specify saying that from 1st to 10th December only I need to filter the data. Let's go here, click advanced, copy to another location. This you have to do every time so that you'll not miss the range. The list range, then the criteria range will be this one. Now let me go here and say copy to another location. Let me click somewhere here. Say okay. Let's go and check. Let me click here. See, December 1 to 10 only. So this way you can keep filtering the data, that is for multiple columns. Filter by text. This is very interesting actually. Here we have a lot of things to work. When I say filter, let's do a normal filter. We'll go here, say filter, and here let's come to this customer name. I can select, say, I can select few customers, say okay, I'll get the filters here. But what if I want to filter that is customized, say equals, begins with, ends with, contains, these kind of things. Say for example, I want all the customer name whose names begins with AA should be filtered, begins with AA. Say okay, see, you'll get filter like this. These are all normal filters. Suppose if you want to filter by using advanced, say filters, then here I have some options. Say equal to, begins with, not equal to, after, before, like this. Let's go here. I want to filter, say region center, or do one thing, we'll take state, say New York. I want to filter state New York. I'll just take only the state and I'll put it here. And I'll copy this New York and I'll put it here. I want to filter all the data with New York. After that, we'll see multiple columns. Now, go to advanced, select the list range, and then I'll say copy to another location. The criteria range will be this one, the state. Now say copy to another location. Let me just keep my cursor here, select this location, say okay. If you go and check this, see, I have New York. Fine, let me just remove this. Let's go back. Now anyways, we know that how to filter this. Now what we'll do is we'll have multiple columns and we'll check. Now let me go here, say I want this subcategory, I'll just put it here, say phones, and then we'll take the customer name and we'll put it here. We'll take this guy. But before filtering, just check whether the data is available or not. Otherwise, if these combination data is not available, then I'll not get the report or say the result. First, I'll go here, filter it. I'll say chill Matthias. Let's see. Okay. Right. See, if we would have done, then we would have not got this result. So we should have a filter such a way that the combination is available. So what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll say New York, and we'll filter phones, and then we'll take this guy. So now we'll try to filter this. At least one record we'll get, minimum. Advanced, copy to another location. Let's select this list range, and then we'll select this criteria range. Now I have to select all these 3 columns and copy to another location. Select any of this location here and say OK. Let's see, only one record is there with this combination. So I'm just telling you, see here, you can keep adding the filters. Now if you want to do this, you have to go here and again filter each and every column. Not required. You can just go here and start giving the values here and then filter. Fine. We go to the next one. So here you can use, say, all these options quickly. If you want, I'll just show you. Let me just go here and check. Okay. Let me just clear all this. So we'll say here we saw this exact, that is, whatever we have this, we gave this text. Now I'll give not equals to. If you think that you want to give not equals to, you can mention here this operator. Let's go and we'll say, we'll take this region. Let's say not equal to center. Let say advanced, copy to another location, select the list range, and then we'll say criteria range. I'll just select only this and then copy to another location. Let's put it somewhere here. Saved. Let's go and check. See, I'm getting the result here, but I'm not getting that central what we have taken here. That is not equals to. Then greater than. See, greater than means, say suppose if I'm taking character A, greater than A, that means from B it has to take. Let's say we'll take this customer name and I'll put it here. Say we'll take something, this one, Pamela Jackson, whatever. Okay, greater than this thing. When I say greater than, that means greater than this P. Now say advanced, copy to another location. See, everywhere I have to select this. Every filters have to do this. Criteria range, I'll select this and then I'll say copy to another location. Let me select here. Say OK. Let's go and check. See, all the names. See, after P till Z, whatever is there, I'll get like this. I'm just telling you all the possible way of filtering the data. Similarly, here you can do this less than as well, but let's try this one now. Now let's say I'll just remove this. Now let me take this subcategory and I'll put it here. Okay, this is very interesting actually. I'll just show you what it is. Fine. Now here, let's say I have something called as paper weight. Okay, now let me just take paper. I also have papers here. Let's say, let's try to filter it. Yeah, I have this paper. Now let me try to filter this paper. I'll select this, advanced, and then copy to another location. I'll select the list range and then I'll say criteria range. I will select this one, that is subcategory paper. Now I'll say copy to another location. Let me just click here and I'll say okay. Just observe, I have filtered paper here. Let me go here. When I filter that, I wanted only paper, but if you see, I'm getting this paper, paper bags, paper stand, and paper weight. Anything starting with paper, I'm getting these values, or say the data. Why it is coming, I'll tell you. When I'm actually using just the name, it is like begins with. It says begins with, but for me, I want exact data. That is exact data what I'm searching here, the criteria. So in this case, I have to use equals. But there is a problem when I say equals and then say enter, I'm getting this error. So for this, what I have to do, either I'll say a single quote equals paper. Either I can do like this, or another way is say equals, put it in double quotes, equals paper. So both are fine. Say enter. Now I'm saying equals paper. Now let's go here and we'll try to filter this, copy to another location and say list range. Let me select the list range, and then I'll say criteria range, that is this one, and then I'll say copy to another location. Just select here, say okay. Now we'll see I'm getting only paper. So these are the possible way of filtering this text. That is, you can either have exact match, that is exactly it has to be like this, or you can say begins with, and also you can say not equals to. Depending on your requirement, you can select these things. I'll put it this here so that I'll be sharing this file with you. You can work on this as well. Fine. Next one, wildcards. Wildcard means, say I have something called a star or question mark or something like that. When I say star, that means any characters. Say for example, let's say we have something like paper only. So I want all the values, say paper and say star. Or say here I have this New York, say new and star. Any characters after this new. If you have anything, any names which start with new, end with any characters. So like this also we can, this is called as wildcard. Or if I say a question mark, means only single character, say new, and after that if I have only one character, then I'll say question mark, like this. So if you want to do something like this, then I can use wildcard. So this list also I've given here, so you can go to that also somewhere here. I've just given you, see. Right, now if you go here, I have this star as I told you. Let's come back. I'll take this state and I'll put it here. Here what I'll do, I'll say new and I'll put this star. The star denotes that anything after this character, say anything after new, it can be any characters. Let me quickly go here and say advanced, say list range, we'll select this list range, and then I'll select this criteria range, that is the state. Then I'll say copy to another location. Let me put it just next to this only here. Say okay, and we'll see. Here it says New York City, New Mexico. Can you see that? Anywhere we have this new, and after that any characters is filtered. Fine. Next, suppose if I put star before and after, or say we have this star York, say star near. Now any character in the beginning, any character in the end, I should get the filtered results. Let's go here. I'll say advanced, then I'll say list range, and then I'll take this criteria range. Let me select this, and then copy to another location. Let me select this. Say okay. Let's go and check. See here, the New York City. See, I have mentioned New York, star for this, any characters before York, any characters after York will be selected and it will be giving me the results. This is star. Star means any characters, any number of characters, any characters. I have one more, that is star here. So we just saw this star. Let's go and check this one. There is one more, like if there is a value which already has a star, let's say filter this. Let's go and check this data. Somewhere we'll have this. Yeah, see here it says envelopes star covers. Now if you go here, let me take this subcategories and I'll put it here. And if I take this value, say envelope star covers, I want to filter this. As I told you, star is a wildcard. Now let me try to filter the data according to this one. This is the criteria what I have. Advanced, copy to another location. Let me select this range. And then I'll say criteria range, will select this. And say copy to another location, I'll select here. Then say OK. Now let's go and check what is the result we are getting. See, we are getting envelopes star covers as well as envelopes and covers. So the star is a wildcard, but what I need is I want the data which is like star, envelope star covers, that's all. I don't want this and covers. In these kind of cases, this wildcard should be disabled. So how we can do? We cannot go and we can delete this because the data is like that. So what you will do, you'll give one tilde like this one. There is something called as tilde. This will enable us to have the star like this. Now I'll say any characters, or you can use just covers also. Let me put one star here. If you want, that is, if you want any other characters, otherwise I can just leave that as covers like this. That means this one will not be as a wildcard now. Right. Let me just put one wildcard also so that you'll know how the star and wildcard was. This is a wildcard and this is not a wildcard because I put this tilde here. Right. Now let's do the same thing. Advanced, copy to another location, list range. Let me select this and say criteria range. Now let me select this one. Say copy to another location and I will select this. Say OK. Now let's go and check the result. See, I have only envelope star covers. So you can do something like this as well. Right. Now suppose if you want to filter the state which has got only 5 characters. Here we have taken something like this. Now I want to filter all the states which are with only 5 characters. Then we have this question mark here. This one. The question mark actually gives me a single character. If you go and check this, see, it says question mark text. That means filter cells whose contents begin with any 2 characters followed by any text. Let's say we'll take, which one we'll take? Just go and see any data which we can take. Okay, we have this mi or okay, we'll take this New York only. Let me put this, say question mark, put this 4 and I'll say that means 4 space means 4 characters. It can be any 4 characters. After that it should be York. The question mark is for one character like this. I put 4 here. Let's go and check this. Advanced, copy to another location. For every advanced filter we have to do this selection. Select this and then say copy to another location. I should have deleted this. Anyways, we'll go here and we'll put it here. Let's go and check. See, you can see this New York like this. Right. Now, if you want to have specific number of characters, say I want specific number of characters. That means you have this 5 question marks. That means 5 characters. Then what I'll do, I'll go here, say equals question mark, say 5 or say 6, whichever you want. Now we are mentioning that equals 6 places, so 6 characters or whatever. Select, copy to another location, then select the list range and the criteria range, and then copy to another location. We'll go here and we'll select this, say OK, and we'll see the state. All the states with 6 characters will be filtered. See, it's 6 characters. This is to filter by wildcards. That means you can filter either by a star or question mark. Star means any number of characters. Question mark means a single character. So you can give any number of question marks you want. You can refer this to work on these examples, or you can use more examples as well here. Fine. You can filter the data or say table by formulas as well. But the formula will take only true or false. It can be anything, but make sure that it is a true or false. You can give any condition here. Let's give a condition like this. Filter all the data wherein the profit is more than sales. That means there is some mistakes. There will be some error in this data. Say all the profit which is greater than sales or less than sales. So whatever you want, you can give. Let's say I want to filter all the data which is less than, say all the profit which is less than sales. Say equals this value, select this value, less than this value. So I'm saying the sales value is less than the profit value. Enter. It says false. That means here the sales value is actually greater than the profit. So wherever it is false, that will be filtered. That means it will go and check the criteria. That is, wherever the sales value is less than profit value, only that data will be filtered. Let's go advanced, copy to another location, and then select the criteria range, and criteria range I'll take this. Say copy to another location. Let me just put it here. I'll select this, say OK. Let's go and check. See, all the sales value which are less than profit will be filtered. Okay, so here any condition you can give. Let's say I want one criteria such a way that I want to filter all the profits which are in minus. Let's see if I have minus value. Only one minus is there. I'll just try to create few. Just put some minus, just making it minus the negative value. Okay, now I want to filter all the data which are negative. Let's change the formula here. Equals this value is less than 0. This value, just take the first value, you don't have to select for all. So this will be applied for all the ranges, that is the cells. Select advanced, copy to another location. Let me select this list range and then criteria range, and then copy to another location. Let me select here and say okay. Let's go and check. See, all the negative values are filtered. So you can filter the values by the formulas as well, but make sure that this formula should be true or false. You cannot give any formula. The result should be true or false. So based on that, I can filter the data. It can be anything, any formula I can give, but the result should be true or false. That is the criteria. Okay. Next one. Now we'll see the combination of text, a date, and numbers. Let me take order date and I'll put it here just on top of it. Let's say we'll take this date, or we'll take this subcategory only, and then we'll take this sales. Whenever you are giving these kind of combinations, first check the combinations. One of the examples we saw, just try to filter, that is only for text we saw, not the mix of all the data types. Now what we're trying to do is we are trying to take date, subcategory, that is text, and the numbers. First let's check that whether it is available or not. Let's go here, we'll say December. Okay, then next we have this appliance. Yes, we do have. And then here we'll say greater than 1000. So we have some data. If the criteria, all these three criteria are not matching, then we won't get the results. So we should be very careful with this. So here what we'll do, we'll say which is greater than 1st December. We'll give like this. So I want the data to be filtered which is greater than 1st December 2019, and the subcategory should be appliances, and the sales should be greater than 1000. Advanced, copy to another location, and then select the list range, and I'll say criteria range, this one. Say copy to another location. Let me select, say okay. Let's go and check. We got some result here. Let's check the order date. Order date should be December. Yes, that is fine. Then the subcategory is appliance, and the sales is about 1000. See, immediately we can get the data like this. Fine. Next one is about and or. So all this time we are actually filtering the data in only one row. Now we'll see how we can have multiple rows, that is multiple criteria. Let's say I'll take this state. In this state I want all the values, that is in Indiana I want all the appliances. We saw this in one of the examples, but still we'll do this. Copy to another location. Let me select this, and then I'll say criteria range and copy to another location. Let's say okay. Let's see Indiana and appliances. So this is actually called as and. That means state Indiana and subcategories appliances. Now suppose if I'm putting any data in second column, that means it is or. Let me do the same thing here only. Instead of again doing this here, I'll just take bookcases, put it here. Here I'll say Indiana and appliances, or it can be bookcases. Let's go and try this. Say advanced, and here I'll say criteria range. Now we'll check only this one, that is subcategory appliances or bookcases, that is or. When we have in different rows like this, one below the other, then it is called as or. And then we'll say copy to another location. Let's go here and we'll just put it just below that. Say okay. Let's go and see. Here I'll get appliances and bookcases. If you put next to next, that is in the same row, then that is called as and. When I have like this, then it is called as or. Let's go and check this. We'll put this Indiana and this one together. Let me just remove this. Advanced list range, will select this, and then I'll select this criteria range and then copy to another location. Let's go and check. See, here I have this appliance and bookcases. Let me just filter this appliance. Here I have only Indiana, but when I go and select this bookcases, see, I'm having all the other state. That means or. Or means here it can be any other state, but I need this bookcases. If you want both the places Indiana, then I'll go here and I'll put it here like this. But here I don't have any bookcases here in Indiana. Let me just check that. Do I have? No, it's not there. That's why it's not coming. Otherwise, even that also would have been listed. So if you think that I want to have AND operator, that means put it in the same line like this. And if it is OR operator, then put it in the next line. So this is AND and OR, which I can use in the filters. Okay. Now, all the time what we used to do, filter the data and get all the columns. But now what we'll do, we'll see how we can get only specific columns. Let's assume I want all the sales value which are about 2000, but I want only few details. Say I want the order date, I want the customer name, and what is the subcategory, I will say from which state this customer is, and what is the subcategory and the sales. Only these columns I need. That is specifically I'm mentioning order date, then customer name, then which state, subcategory, and sales. I don't want all the columns. I want only these columns. That is the sales value which is above 2000, say greater than 2000. Now if you want to filter that, so what I'll do, I'll go here, say advanced, copy to another location. I'll select this list range, then I'll say criteria range. Criteria range you can give any combinations or whatever. Okay, the criteria can be anything. Now when I say copy to another location, so what I used to do, just select only one cell and I used to get the results with all the columns. Now let me just select only these columns. I'm selecting only these columns, and if I say okay, see, I'm getting the result only for those columns which I've selected here. If I select only one column, two column, whatever, only that result I'll be getting. So if you want to have specific columns, then you can put the column names here and then you can filter. Fine. This is for selected columns only. Next, I was talking about if I'm trying to filter a data and if you want to paste the data, it has to be within this sheet only. Say whatever data I'm pasting, it should be within this sheet only. What if I want to paste that in another sheet? Let's see one example whether it is possible or not. Let's do the same criteria. Advanced, copy to another location, and I'm selecting the list range, then say criteria, I've selected this, and then let me try to copy this to another sheet. Okay, I'll go here, select this, and I'll say okay. It is saying you can only copy filtered data to the active sheet. it can only paste the data in active sheet. So keep this in mind. You cannot paste it in different sheet. But I'll tell you how actually you can do this, because most of them actually think that we cannot do it. So what they do, they'll filter the data, copy it, and paste it in another sheet. You don't have to do that. I'll show you how to do that. What you do is, first select the sheet where you want to paste the data. That is, I'm here. It's a very simple thing, that's all. Nothing a trick or magic, or there's nothing advanced. Let's say I want to paste the data here in this sheet. Select this sheet. Now what you do, just go to this data, advanced, click on this advanced. I have nothing. Select this list range and select the range. Fine. Now say criteria range. Go here and select that criteria. And then copy to another location. Now anyways, I'm in the active sheet. Click here and say okay, done. That's it. Now I'm having this data here. So most of them actually think that we cannot paste the data in the other sheet. So keep in mind, the simple logic is, in whichever sheet you are trying to do the advanced filter, in that sheet only I can paste the data. So that is why I took this as an active sheet, but took the range from another sheet and I pasted here. So this is one way what you can actually try to use the advanced filters and paste it in another sheet. Okay, so these are actually the advanced filters. I've tried to cover almost all the topics in this, which is actually very advanced, and I'm telling it's advanced only, but it's not complex. To remember this, or say to work on this, only few things you'll have to understand. That is, go to this advanced, just understand, filter the list in the same place, copy to another location if you want to paste it into another say location. List range is the table on which you are applying the filters. Criteria range is what are the criteria you are specifying to filter. Then if you want to copy to another location, you can select this. If you want to make it unique, then you have to use this unique records only.